Hey everybody, and we're back with our So You Want to Be a Healer and Beating Anxiety video. I've done a few changes. You can see we've got our first cooldown ability now, Swiftcast. And one thing I want to mention about cooldown abilities is it's important that you don't hold on to them. A lot of people hold on to their cooldowns in case they need them on a boss or in case they need them later. Honestly, in the time you usually wait to use it, you might as well have used it in the first case. The cooldowns, for a reason, they're there to save you, they're there to be used, so use them. And you'll see I'll probably use Swiftcast on earlier dungeons, on not a lot, maybe to get a quick medica off so I can double, like AoE double heal real fast, or maybe I'll use it for a cure if the tank's low. I might even just use it for a stone for extra DPS, who knows. Ideally it'd be saved for better heals, longer heals, or for a raise, so I get an instant res off, but chances of that popping up is fairly rare. Other than that, I've done the 3 class quests I've gotten up to, level 5, 10 and 15 class quests. So we're basically ready to go on our next dungeon. So I'm going to queue up for the dungeon and I'll be back with you as soon as I've got a pop. So here we are in Tam-Tara. Better say hey. Hey guys. And I've had a pretty decent day today. Work's been okay. I got home and did a lot of my assignment for uni. So I'm feeling good. I'm not as anxious about healing this. The tank's got his taunt buff up, his Iron Will, which is excellent. So let's just see how this tank pulls. I'm going to stay as close to him as possible. He's not just going for 2. I wondered if he was just going to pull the 2 there for a moment. So as I said yesterday, I'm going to try and stay close. I just cured myself because I pressed the wrong button. I'm foolish. So we're going to try and get this arrow out on most of these guys here. Pop a heal on the tank. Oh, he's getting low. Don't worry, tank baby, I got you. He's got his cooldown just dropped, so get some DPS in here now. And just before he runs off, I'm going to try and get one more heal because he'll go straight away. There you go. And now I'm just going to try and get close to him again. Stay nearby. So far, not so bad. He's actually not getting hit too hard. Have we got DPS attacking everything? Yeah. It's okay. The what's this? Dragoon? Lancer? Lancer's a Dragoon, whatever it is. He's a Sprout, I think. If he's not a Sprout, he was watching the cutscene, so try and keep the tank alive here. He's got no cooldowns rolling right now, so he's getting chunked, so I'm watching him real careful. Got his DPS cooldowns up right now. One thing I didn't do in the last video, which I forgot to talk about, was using a Suna. I didn't use a Suna to remove the poison. The tank on, I think it was the last boss, maybe second to last boss, he actually put poison stacks on the tank, which I could have dispelled, and I didn't. So the tank was taking extra damage unnecessarily. I shouldn't be standing in front of him, because that's something I should never be doing. It's okay to be close and behind, but don't stand in front. Mobs tend to bleed. These ones I don't think do, but mobs in general do. So now we want to get a heal off before that mob dies. That way when the tank runs off, which they inevitably do, he's not running off on low HP. Let's get all of these with their... no, you've already got arrow on you. There we go. Get the nuke on. Not worried about his HP right now. He's basically not getting hit. Get a heal off before this thing spawns. We just go to town on DPS. I'm pretty comfortable that the tank's not going to need any healing during this fight, and if he is, it's going to be like one spot heal or something. Using his DPS cooldown now. I'm going to DPS a bit more. Now I'm going to use my Swift Cast and heal, which, oops, that was lucky. I was lucky I got that off because I've moved the Swift Cast from my hotkeys, so I had to click it to gain the effect. So let's put that back on my bar somewhere, or I'm going to get into some trouble. There we go. That was lucky that I saved him there. If I hadn't, I was pressing Shift 1 and nothing was happening. Then I was like, oh, damn it, I moved it. Failure. So what would have been a pretty cool play, I nearly killed us all in Tam-Tara. Now we've got 2 people. The DPS is taking damage. Always prioritise the tank on bigger pulls. As mobs get so... I'm going to AoE heal here, I think. Oh, I've got aggro from something. Or I stood in something. I think I probably stood in something, to be honest. I wasn't paying attention. On big pulls like this, where the tank has got a lot of aggro, try and keep the tank alive over the DPS. The DPS can either respawn or you can raise and you can get them back in. If the tank dies with, you know, 10 mobs on them, the first thing the mobs are going to do is run for the next target, which is probably you on threat because you're a healer. It could be one of the high damage DPS types, but it's most likely going to be you. And then you die, so everyone else dies. If you keep the tank alive, you avoid all that. I'm going to pop an AoE here and be lazy here. That actually didn't do as much as I thought it was going to do, unless the tank was out of range. I'm not sure. So again, these earlier dungeons, my anxiety doesn't seem to trigger too badly because I know... Look, I've got like 2 healing spells to think about, you know. It's obviously going to get more complicated and inevitably get more difficult, and that's when I'm probably going to start to panic. But at the moment, I think we're doing all right. I mean, we saved getting wrecked earlier. That's good, right? That we did that. He's using his ramparts. Now I can use this time to get my bios up, or whatever they're called. Arrows, sorry. Although I probably didn't need to, because they're not going to last very long. I should have just stoned everything. Just threw stones at everything. What is that? Is that a buff that I just received? I don't know what it is. Right, I'm going to not let him get slow this time. Throw a heal out. We'll throw another one out because I didn't top him off as much as I would have liked. Should be fine here. He's just about to die, so we'll top him off just before the end of the fight. Again, staying near the tank as much as possible. If I get aggro or anything, I want him to be able to deal with it. Plus, they tend to sprint out of range, like I've said before, and if that happens, you need to be somewhere nearby. He took a chunk then. I don't know what hit him. He's getting hit real hard at the moment. Hopefully he has a cooldown come up soon. There we go. Cooldowns are up. I can get some DPS in now. Don't want to be standing in that though. That's not fun for anybody. We're going to start soon getting to dungeons that I did so long ago that I don't remember how to do them, which will be interesting. Gonna go up against boss mechanics and be like, oh yeah, I remember now. That's good, I suppose. I mean, at the end of the day, it's very difficult to experience this game as though you've never experienced it before, you know what I mean? It's really hard to pretend you're a new player when you're not a new player, which is why I'm trying to do my best with the series as new experience as possible, or as close to, by bringing my anxiety into it. Knowing that you're freaking terrified every time I come into a dungeon makes it a little bit more interesting. Although this one's not been too bad, and Sastasha wasn't too bad either. They're relatively straightforward dungeons, being the first 2 dungeons in the game. I think the next one isn't too bad either, if I remember. And then I think they start to scale a little bit, get a little bit more difficult. I don't remember. A Realm Reborn I don't think was too hard overall, which means that it makes it easier. I'm less scared about going into these dungeons because I know they're not mechanically too difficult. There's not that much movement in stuff. I may be wrong. I may be not remembering everything correctly. I don't mean to pretend that they're easy by any means. I know that it's not going to be easy for everybody. Everybody's difficulty in this game is very different. I actually struggled with the boss the other day as a DPS. I could not figure out what was going on. I think I died 3 times during it, and I just could not figure out how the mechanic worked. No, this is gonna be rather a lot of damage here, so we might have to swift cast. He's got his rampart up though right now, so I'm gonna get some DPS in. Be ready with the swift cast because I'm gonna try and squeeze an extra cast in here. So now I'm gonna swift cast. It didn't work, so I guess we raise him now instead. Why didn't my swift cast go off? Strange. I must have misclicked it. Must have done. Hopefully he doesn't go straight into damage. There we go. And that's prime example of how you be a nub. I better apologise. Sorry. Good thing about this is it shows you an example of how kind the community is. There was nothing said other than it's no problem. And to be honest, I probably didn't even need to apologise. I mean, for me, it's courtesy. You know, that was totally my fault. I was trying to outplay myself and let the tank die. And then I didn't even res very well because I was pushing the wrong buttons to try and swiftcast to res him. So I deserve to get told to stop being an idiot, but no one did. Which is, it's nice to see. It's unlike the communities that I'm used to, put it that way. Still, nonetheless... Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is I've reduced the overall quality slightly of the game because I noticed in one of the recordings that I did early on that I was getting some strange FPS drops. I wasn't seeing them in the game, but for some reason the recording software was recording these FPS drops. So I've dropped the quality slightly. Hopefully it won't make the game look too bad. And it should fix those little frame drops. But if not, I might have to look into some other recording software. See how it goes. Alright, let's try this again. There we go, that worked that time. So I think my problem is Swiftcast I don't think is off the global cooldown. I'm not entirely sure, but it felt to me then that Swiftcast was on the global cooldown. Perhaps it wasn't. Perhaps it just felt like a long time. I don't know. Might have to test that slightly. What loots have we got? Nothing that I need. Oh, we'll pass it. Right, let's try not to let everyone die and be like look like a complete fool this time. Let's help DPS on these imps. Just pop him off or top him off, not pop him off. I'm going to throw another heal at him. I probably don't need to. Oh, I probably do need to. Hopefully, I'm going to stay to the tank now. You see the tank ran this way, so I'm going to stay with him. Mainly because all those ads are coming. I'm hoping he popped the aided. I was going to say, hopefully he'll pop the cooldown. He used it a little early. He used it before he actually got hit by anything there, but I'm not judging. I'm just pointing out things that I see, that's all, so that you can be more aware. Let's get out of that. No one's going to get hit. If you're particularly good, my eyesight is awful, but if you're particularly good at spotting the arena quickly or people quickly, when there's AoEs like that, you can spot the people that you don't think are going to get out. I want the road to tank, please. You can spot the people that you don't think are going to get out of it and be ready to cast a pre-target heal on them. Now this is where he's using his DPS cooldown. This is where I'd like to see a rampart or something. It doesn't matter now, I guess. Most of them are dead. You watch, I say things like this because I understand how mechanics are meant or supposed to be played. If I played tank, I'd be the worst tank in the world. I'd just be... my cooldowns would be all over, I can guarantee you. So please take it, you know, don't take it to heart. I'm not dissing any of these players, I'm just... I'm pointing things out, that's all. And I don't mean to be horrible about it if I come across like that. I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to explain my knowledge, how I'm viewing the situation. So there you go. I think we did well with that. Ooh, that could be good. Could that be good? What's our current? It's got extra mind on it, so I guess we'll need for that. Don't want that. Don't want that either. Give the tank commendation because he didn't give me no grief. And that's it, that's another dungeon down. So thanks for hanging out with me. If you liked it or it helped you at all, then please comment, let me know how you're finding the game if you're playing the game, and comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye bye.